Hello, my name is Jared Johnson and I'm asking for your vote as your next secretary of the Kansas Academy of Family Physicians. I'm experiencing some deja vu right now because, as you might remember, I ran last year as well. But really, let's face it, nothing else about this year's election is the same. COVID-19 has sucked all of the air out of the room, so much so that we can't even meet in the same room. So many things have changed in just 2 months' time. Some things are more annoying than anything, like having to wear a mask in public, or not being able to get a haircut. But of course, many other things are much more impactful to ourselves, our communities, and our state. There's the obvious impact in the lives lost and the economic ramifications that keep mounting. And there are impacts that we are only starting to get a sense of, such as the role this pandemic will have in shaping mental health for the populations we care for, probably for years to come. As family physicians, we find ourselves in the middle of all of this, whether on the so-called front lines, caring for COVID-positive individuals in the hospital, or addressing the mental health aspect with our patients in the office, or leading our communities as public health advocates, or maybe all of the above for some of us. We are in the middle of it. Then there's what is happening to our practices and hospitals. I'm not sure about all of you, but 2 months ago, when the first events were being canceled and stay-at-home orders were being issued, I didn't know how profound the drop in volume was going to be. But that's what happens when something new comes along. There's unforeseen circumstances. Something new has happened to us for the first time in living memory. So yes, many, many things have changed in just 2 months, and maybe there are some things that haven't changed. During my speech last year, I made mention of doctors feeling burned out. I mentioned payment reform, and I mentioned lack of access to health care. All things that have been part of the work of the KAFP since well before the pandemic, and all things that are not only exist in the post-COVID world, but are only magnified. Political leadership in the age of the coronavirus is a rabbit hole that I will not be heading down at this moment. However, healthcare leadership specifically has, in my view, been pretty inspiring, both nationally and locally. Some of you watching this may in fact be one of the leaders I'm referring to, and I want to thank you. We are going to continue to need that leadership in the weeks, months, and yes, years ahead. But at some point, this too shall pass and the world will move on. Hopefully, we will have learned lessons and begin planning for the next pandemic. And the KAFP will still be needed to fight for the health of Kansans. The issues may evolve, but my guess is that they will not look too different. Physicians will still need the support of their peers. Payment may still be undergoing reform, and Kansans will still need access to health care. As Secretary of KAFP, my goal will be to help alongside the rest of you in leading Kansans both through the rest of this pandemic as well as in all other aspects of Kansas healthcare that came before COVID and will remain after. Thank you for your time and